The Nintendo Switch is now 2+ years old, and if I were to summarize the entirety of our experience in those 2+ years with Nintendo's 7th home console, how did they come back from the dead so gracefully? Remember the Wii U? Yeah, Nintendo doesn't want you to, considering they keep releasing all of that console's games as if they're just as big of a deal now as the newer titles. It's so desperate that they went ahead and thought that new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe was a good name. Did you notice how they announced Super Mario Maker 2 not even 2 months after NSMBUD released? Why did I buy this? But alas, March 3rd, 2017, the day the Nintendo Switch was unleashed unto the masses. And it was alright, I guess. The launch lineup for this thing was pretty lame, if I'm being honest. Bomberman came back with Super Bomberman R, that was really cool. Shovel Knight's newest Spectre Knight DLC was fantastic. And Snipper Clips was a neat little puzzle game that was great fun in co-op. Oh yeah, and that one Zelda game came out, you may have heard of it. It was pretty neat owning the newest Nintendo console, and it does have a pretty cool gimmick, but I don't know, let's just see how things go. Oh man. Oh my god, Nintendo, what? We are truly living in one of the wildest times in Nintendo history. If they don't screw this up, please don't screw this up. We could realistically be looking at one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Nintendo console of all time, which is absolutely a crazy thought. Not only that, but they're about to have a president in America with the name Bowser. None of this seems real. So yeah, safe to say the Nintendo Switch is kinda killing it right now, which is really impressive given how bad the user interface is. It's just a lifeless lineup of squares, you got some apps at the bottom of the screen, and no folders. In 2019, I guess if the Switch's success does prove anything, it's that the tried and true argument does remain factual. After all, a game console is all about the games. Even though the launch lineup was pretty disappointing, Nintendo ended up putting all of their eggs into the hype basket. Surely one day they'll finally reveal the NX, and after that reveal trailer in October of 2016 showing off a pretty crazy portable and console hybrid concept, and a gameplay demo from Jimmy Fallon, of all people, the excitement was becoming real. I'll give it to them, you know, the Wii U gamepad wasn't uncomfortable by any means, but it certainly was pretty unappealing to the eyes. I only really started realizing this once we saw the Switch and just how sleek that device is. It's really just slightly bigger than a typical phone screen, you got those detachable side controllers with the Joy-Cons. That's about it. The design was stripped down to the bare essentials, while also giving us arguably the only reason for the Switch's massive success in the first place. Oh yeah, that's good. And if those Joy-Cons as controllers aren't your thing, then the Pro Controller. Oh boy, this is a beautiful piece of hardware. That was how I played through the entirety of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I mean, wow. Leave it to Nintendo to have their console launch right on the hype of just one single game that's also on the console they're trying to forget exists. Alright, I guess that's not entirely true. They did release the Switch exclusive 1-2 Switch. Yeah, it's amazing the system survived that. Now, personally speaking, man, this is one of my favorite games of all time. The atmosphere, the sense of discovery, the constant challenges, the drip feeding of a super interesting plot. Man, I love everything about this game. Except when Link is incapable of climbing anything when it's raining. Oh my god, order a pair of gloves. And man, you can play this game on the go? Seriously? Sure, the back of the Switch sometimes becomes hot enough to fry an egg, but it's still so neat that you can actually do that. And this feeling throughout 2017 is what I think helped with the console breaking record after record after record. I remember starting a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Grand Prix during a flight, obviously in handheld mode, then finishing it like 2 days later, docked and on my TV. And it was at that moment that the Switch finally clicked for me. Before then, it was just, you know, you had the newest Nintendo console, you can play all the current Nintendo games. But what I experienced with Mario Kart 8 made me realize and finally understand what the Switch was all about. Didn't matter the scope of the game, didn't matter the quality of the game. I could play anything, wherever, and however I wanted. That's a pretty damn cool thing. Isn't this one of the reasons why the Wii U failed? You walk away too far from the console and the gamepad starts crying and asking for its mommy. Having a successful gimmick is one thing, but now you just need the games to experience that gimmick with. Oh, what a first year for the Switch Nintendo had, man. Not releasing much of anything during the final days of the Wii U really paid off. Fire Emblem Warriors, not as good as Hyrule Warriors in my opinion, but still, hundreds of hours of content for fans who really want to dive deep into this game's universe. Splatoon 2 came back with that addicting, ink-shooting online multiplayer that we all come to know and love, and showed that it was possible to recreate gamepad-like features without needing the gamepad. It also introduced Salmon Run, objectively better than anything else in that game. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, a massive open-world RPG with so much to do and see, it'll drive any completionist mad. And yeah, it does get a bit too anime at times, but that does not discount the really solid RPG contained within the main adventure and its eventual Torna DLC. Oh, and yeah, of course, Super Mario Odyssey, the pure definition of boy what a game. You know how everyone for years was begging for Nintendo to make another sandbox-like Mario game? Well, instead of doing the exact opposite of that once again, they actually listened to the fans, and they put Mario in the same world as actual people. Still weird. There were plenty of other games that dropped in 2017, but Zelda and Mario alone showed that Nintendo wasn't fooling around anymore. 1-2 Switch doesn't fall into that category, but hey, that came and went. Thank goodness. 2018 did follow suit, but nowhere near as impactful as the year prior. Ports upon ports upon ports, games that are a lot better now, but were pretty underwhelming at launch. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle came completely out of nowhere, and it's still, in my opinion, one of the system's best games. There was that one weird sushi game about a kid who lost their parents in the Great Sushi War. That was weird. Oh yeah, and then they also started selling cardboard. You know, I appreciate Nintendo Labo as a unique idea. Sometimes unique Nintendo is the best Tendo, but nah, this ain't it. Too much work for not enough fun, though heaven knows they do try. At least Super Mario Party showed that sometimes when they do listen to fans, they can get things back on the right track, so that was cool. Overall though, 2018 was a pretty dry year, and it was disappointing to see Nintendo drop that low after their great 2017. And then Smash released, and people forgot just how bad that year was. What were we talking about? I mean, really, come on now, what is there to say about this one? It's probably the best Smash Bros. Has ever been. It's just so much fun to play, and while it is a little bit barren in terms of extra modes, who knows, maybe the DLC in the upcoming year will show that Smash Ultimate will in fact be Ultimate. And so help me if Banjo doesn't make it in. But it turns out it didn't matter. Where Nintendo falters, the indie developers pick up the slack. You know what, man, at this point, literally every single indie game that's worth a damn is gonna release on this console. Just when you think, no, that probably won't release on the Switch, by the time that sentence finished, yeah, they probably announced it for the Switch. And just on the pure basis of this also being a portable console, I am much more inclined to play any of these games on Switch than, say, on PC. Cave Story, Celeste, Undertale, The Messenger, Battle Chef Brigade, Owlboy, Enter the Gungeon. I can spend literally hours at this point going over the amount of insane quality indie titles available. It's gotten so bad at this point that it's becoming a problem trying to keep up with all of the hot releases. I got a YouTube channel to run here, man, if you didn't know, so it's pretty tough when every month sees like a million games worth playing. And if anything, if you want some inside business speculation from yours truly, I think that's why Nintendo is in no real rush to drop any more of their classic games on us. At that point, they would then be competing with the tons of games that aren't from Nintendo. That's no fun. But N64 and GameCube, that would still be nice, just saying. And I gotta give a major shout out to companies like Limited Run Games, creating physical versions of otherwise digital games. I am a huge fan of this business model. Now this is a good game. Now I'm gonna address the hardcore Nintendo fanboys out there. I got 3 little words for you that are surely gonna send chills down your spine. Come closer. Third-party support. Third parties have never really been Nintendo's strong suit. The second they had some solid competition, a lot of companies turned the other cheek and found success somewhere else. And you know, I really have no idea what kind of backhand deals were going on without us knowing about it, but getting the entirety of Doom 2016 on Switch was honestly a pretty monumental move. Yeah, it's not that impressive graphically, but again, that's Doom on the go. Incredible. And now a lot of companies damn near fear announcing any new game and dare not include the Switch logo in their trailer. But it seems like every company is at least on board with supporting the console with top quality stuff, which is great. Dragon Quest Builders, Tales of Vesperia, Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy, these are still great gets for the Switch. For the first time ever, the main Crash Bandicoot games, the game that got him to be popular in the first place, are there prominently on Nintendo's newest console, and that's a pretty big deal. Granted, a lot of these are ports, but if you're someone like me and for instance you haven't played Final Fantasy VII yet, I know, I'm such a fake gamer. Now I can add it to the never-ending list of Switch games that I'll buy and get around to playing in like a few months or something like that, after playing the other 24 games I bought and haven't played yet. All in all, the Nintendo Switch, I think it's gonna be alright. I know this video was just like 10 plus minutes of me essentially listing off a bunch of games available on the console and that's it, but to be fair, I think that's why the Switch is successful. Some things like the interface for the menu and eShop I would like to see retooled, the NES game service should be taken out back and dealt with, not even Kirby can save that one. And there are still features not available that are kind of considered to be must-haves for consoles like an internet browser or Netflix. But overall, what we currently have, I can't ask for much more. Except for more games. It's gotten to a point now where any type of gamer can pick up a Switch and have tons to play. The hardcore Nintendo fans, we got you. Casual gamers, we got you. Gamers who just love looking for hidden gems, we got you too. The Switch won't keep up with the big boys releasing on competitor consoles, but it's obvious that they really don't need them right now. Sure, it would be nice if Resident Evil 2 was available on the Switch, but hey, we're gonna get Resident Evil 4 on the Switch soon, and I think people are totally okay with that. Even with the wealth of old games getting ported over, them on top of the new games that we are getting still gives the Nintendo Switch its own image. Yes, I am going to buy Resident Evil 4 for the 5th time. Why not? And looking off at the horizon, I think it's safe to say that we haven't even come close to the Switch's potential yet. It really is crazy to think how successful the Switch is, and we just know they have not scratched the surface with it yet. Earlier on in the video, I said that we could be looking at the greatest Nintendo console of all time. And if they maintain this momentum, who knows? Come back to me in a year, we're gonna be looking at year 4 by then. We could very easily be singing that tune. Ultimately, the point I'm trying to make with the video is this. The Switch is home to Tetris 99. Tetris Battle Royale is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. Quite frankly, everyone else can just pack it up and go home. Nothing else matters anymore. The console wars are officially over.